Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 7 of Getting Started in Space Engineers. In episode 6, we were able to dig out a rocket silo by using rotors and drills. We first drilled in the low setting so that we collected that sheet of ice that you see at the surface. And then we used the fast drill to, in less than 10 minutes or less, we got to dig from the level of the ice all the way down to the farthest reach of 10 pistons. So it was 100 meters down. Each piston is 10 meters. And down here, we were able to create a mini configuration with two refineries and three assemblers. I left this because if you want to make it a permanent base, you want to have both yield and speed refineries and assemblers here, so that when your spacecraft land on this silo, they will be able to recharge or deposit their minerals, and then they get processed further here, and also be able to stock up on components from these assemblers, and then fly out and establish an outpost somewhere or something like that. So it is important to be fully equipped, but I want to show you as well, and this is the main reason why I didn't do this as a stream, the base building here, and I actually want to pre-record it, is because I don't want it to be a different type of video and you miss out that episode, because we're gonna do something very important at the beginning. We're going to remove all these conveyor boards leading up to the surface, and we're gonna raise it from the center here. So we're gonna raise it here because along the middle shaft we're gonna install rotors and drills that will then drill the walls of this um, silo. Notice that we already are fully equipped down here, so we don't need the rover. So what I'm going to do, let's enter the rover. Okay, I'm going to go to the cargo of the rover, and I want to leave it here. Let's see, everything, and then over here everything, hide empty. And we don't want to hide empty over here because the cargo is empty. Rover cargo 1, that's fine. Rover cargo, where is it? Cargo bunker. This is what we need to look for. Cargo bunker here. Let me just type cargo, and then I only see the cargo. Here's the rover cargo. What we want to do is to move ingots over. I'm gonna stack them. And remember what happened when I overloaded the rover last time, so let's avoid doing that. Let's just be very careful of what resources we put in the rover. I think that was too much. Let's put 20k of each, and then 40 of even less than that, 10 of each. And then you can just control shift to pass 1,000 at a time from one inventory to another. So silicon nickel, very important. Let's leave 1,000 cobalt here and 1,000 cobalt in the structure. All that's left is the iron. because this rover is gonna be mainly for drilling silos like this. So we don't need so much inventory in it. What we need is just enough to install again another set of drills and keep going. So I'm going to, where is it? Where is it? I think that's good. That's good enough. Now let's see the hydrogen tank. So I'm gonna go to the connector, the control panel. I'm gonna say tank, and I'm gonna show invisible. And this is the rover's tank. It is completely full. And there should be another one. The oxygen tank is also full. H2. Hydrogen. I don't know why it doesn't show up in the terminal. Okay. But it is full. Well, I can do this. Rover tanks H2. Show in terminal. And then clear this. Rover tank H2, the one. Oh, I think it got hit by a meteor. Yep. That's what happened. A rover got hit by a meteor and it lost one of the H tanks. Luckily the tank seems to have been empty, so it didn't break. Again, just like before, what I'm gonna do is weld the ones that are bent, weld them back to shape, and then use the projector in order to weld the blocks that are missing. So I'll see you when I do that, okay? Alright guys, we have fixed the rover. As you can see, it didn't take much to fix. It was mostly armor plates and then the missing tank. The other components were damaged. I'm missing one speed module and a turret at the top. That's it. Everything else was just armor plate, so easy to fix. And we're back operational. What we did lose was the full hydrogen tank that we had. Okay, but with that said, what I'm going to do is now that the rover is full of ingots enough for the next base, I am going to disconnect it and fully work with the system that we have down in the pit, because then I can get rid of these conveyor ports. Okay, save the PCU. Notice each block of these is 10 PCU. Each yellow block is 10 PCU. So look how many there are. They keep adding up. This is a lot of performance cost just to get resources up to the surface. And again, like I said, we're gonna reach the bottom using spacecraft, using starships. So we're not going to be. I just fixed it, and the meteor storm is inbound. Yeah, we're not gonna be parking a rover down there. Okay, so or connecting it to drop resources like that. You could install collectors, make a little hole or something here, and have the rover drop resources from the surface, have them fall naturally all the way down to the bottom, and at the bottom of the pit you have some collectors that collect the resources. But notice that collectors are also expensive, so maybe it's not the best thing to do. I'm just gonna G menu collector. Oh, they're not bad. 25 PCU count. They are good. It's the connector that is 125 and the ejector too. But the collector, no. The collector is only 25 PCU. So definitely feasible. You can make a very, like a 4 collector wide contraption at the bottom and then drop resources there. Have your rover like use a connector like this to aim it and then set it to collect and eject. You can also install a sorter at the end before the connector that drops things from the rover so that you filter and you say only the iron, only the magnesium, only the gold, and don't empty out anything you don't want from your rover. So yeah, let me remove all this and I'll be right back, okay? All right, everyone. I have cleared the connection all the way up to the surface. Remember, I left ingots and the rover to dig out a second silo later or a second bunker. Remember, you want to leave a lot of these bases around because there are, if you don't even need the refiner and assembler with a bunch of hydrogen storage cargo, you leave the ingots and components and leave a medical bay. That's nothing in terms of PCU count, and you have a spawn point ready to build another rocket. We could build another rocket, but we're gonna make this silo a little bit prettier. I'm gonna go all out with it so that you can see the full design of what I do. And when I wanna build a large one, notice that we have the silo, but it's large enough for a rocket, a large rocket, but it's not large enough for like much else. So I want to extend the walls, dig outwards in at this level, at the bottom level. So let me show you what I do. Let me make sure I have hydrogen because I've been flying around showing you things. Okay, now let's start by installing. Well, I'm gonna use the G menu because it's more convenient. Piston. We're gonna need pistons. We're gonna need advanced rotors. We're going to need. Let me turn off the hydrogen. Gonna need drills. We're going to need also conveyor ports, conveyor blocks, spotlights. What else? What else? I think that's all. We could install a cockpit, but no, we don't need it because we already have everything down here. Yeah, it's when you have your base at the surface that it's a good idea to have a cockpit so that you can recharge down here. But we already have all this down here, so we can recharge down here. That's the whole point. Okay. Now, G. We're gonna say we need the two. So the piston is the first thing, and I'm gonna look for the center. That's why I kind of build it circular. That is the center. Okay. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking. 1 second. Okay. Um. Okay. No. Let me just start with the rotor. Yeah, the rotor is shorter. That's why. That's why I'm starting with the rotor. The rotor. Next, I'm going to install a conveyor board. I'll need interior plate for that. Really quickly. Drop 100. No. There. Okay, we're full. Conveyor board. And what happens is you want to clear. We can use the other ones. The tubes. I should have locked the rotor. Control panel, advanced rotor, lock it. Then I think this is the longest side. Yeah, no, just connect it to the edge. I think there. And let's see a piston. No, it doesn't have enough clearance. Piston there. Perfect. And then we'll fit a drill. The important thing is that the drill does not catch with the components down here. And you can leave the rock. You don't have to drill the level here of the components. But this is also good because this will mean that if the rocket lands really fast, we're not gonna squish the valuable cargo below it, because since we're gonna dig into the walls, we're gonna move the components later. Just as we did when we moved them from the surface down here, we're gonna put hydrogen tanks deeper into the silo and stockpile them so that we empty these out. It is a lot of work, but it is efficient. You notice that it's just one person, and we're able to do all this. So hopefully at least you're learning how to move valuable cargo like hydrogen and things without and also digging in different configurations. So yeah, hopefully you'll see. Next we have to fit the drill, so I'm gonna drill for space. We'll need a little bit more. Excellent. Okay, and now I'm going to weld that up because the next step is to extend this upwards, and we're going to use, yeah, I should have used, no, this is perfect, this is perfect. Okay, no, it's not. Yeah, we should use a piston right here. Okay, I'm gonna reconfigure this. I'll be right back. I'll show you the final configuration. Alright guys, I have opted for a different approach. What I'm doing now is I'm extending 6 pistons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 5 pistons. All the way up until I reach the surface. This one has reached the surface. Remember, we used 7, but we had already the height of the rover and the height of the 3 pistons pushing up. So that's why with 5 we got a less distance, but that means that we're 50 meters from the surface here. So I thought it was 100, it's not. 50 meters from the surface. So you can definitely push downwards farther. Once you reach the bottom with the first set of 7 pistons, you can remove the drill bit, attach more, retract the pistons so they get a little bit more clearance, attach like 7 more pistons downwards, and then reattach the drill and turn it back on, and it'll push further down, and you'll have a deeper silo. And we'll do that one for the large rocket one. But right now we just need one that serves as a base and helps us protect our rovers. I mean our spacecraft, small spacecraft, because what we need to do is go to space, go to space ASAP, and be able to come back safely and return resources back to our base. We can also then start moving components to space and establish a base in an asteroid. That's also good because asteroids are very difficult to find. Okay, and very hidden away. Now we will I will show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to lower this piston until, well, I'm gonna do this first. I'm gonna get plates. If things blow up in the rover, we'll fix them later. Okay, I'm gonna get these steel plates. Actually, I know I'm gonna use conveyors. No, I'm going to use a rotor. First, I'm going to use a rotor. At the end of it, at the end of the pistons, there will be a advanced rotor. At the tip of the advanced rotor, there will be a conveyor port, and at the top of the conveyor port, there will be a cockpit. Notice that the regular cockpit has the conveyor port at the top, so that's actually quite perfect. We'll put it right there because, and I face it in an opposite direction. I face it. Let's face it in the direction that we're gonna place one of the arms of the drill, so that from the cockpit we can see the arm and the drill bit, and then behind us there will be another one. Then let's keep going until we reach the edge here. That's the edge, okay? Okay, we gotta lock it. Always, I forget to lock it. Okay, here we are. I turned on my jetpack just before landing, so lock it. All right, now, no, what am I doing? What am I putting conveyor ports? Okay, one conveyor port, definitely. Because all you want to do is put pistons laterally, and then you can put them on either side. One, two. And I'm gonna switch sides because weight balance is a thing, and this rotor head is not welded. I don't know if it's gonna break because of the weight distribution. Okay, so we have three. Let's see if we can fit a fourth. Excellent. There's a fourth there. Now all we need is drill at the tip of them, but I can install the drill later. Let's see. Oh, do I have enough clearance already? Yes, I have clearance on this side. Yep, complete clearance. And then on this side, obviously, because it's a whole open space, and there is complete clearance. So we have 40 meters to push into the wall on all the wall of the on the entire diameter of the silo. So that is gonna allow us to build rooms and shelter around the main silo. And also we don't need probably this wide of a silo. So we can use a lot of the space vertical here with that. But since you have this opening, this is the you can put a trap door here, and you can build a rocket as wide as this. You can build a rocket as wide as your entry. But if you extend your entry, like you have to carry it out to the bottom so that you can build it out and then launch it. So that's why we're not gonna dig the surface. What I want to do now is take this last piston here. Wait, our hydrogen is kind of low. Okay, I'm going to lower this piston. You see how it's shifting side to side? Lower it slowly until the drills get enough clearance where they don't dig the ground. And notice that this one is digging a little bit. Oh no, it's a hole. So here it's going pretty much after I pass the ice. Okay, that's the lowest it'll go. Let's see. That may be just a little too much. So I'm going to set this piston maximum distance 0. It cannot extend for anything. Next, let's go to the other one, the one right below it, and then do the same thing. Lower it just a little bit. Actually, I'm just gonna say maximum distance 8 meters. And then I'm gonna reverse it until it passes 8 meters and then extend it back up, and now it's at the exactly 8 meters. Yeah, that's plenty of room for our drill to dig out and not. Actually, we don't even need it that tall. We don't need it that tall. Okay, let's say 0. So it stops moving. Okay, that is good. That is guaranteed that it's not gonna drill into the surface and then you see a big hole in the surface. And that way, now we can start turning these drills on and retracting them. As well is we're not done here. Notice that we have 4 pistons and then we have a drill. Okay, let's go. Oh no, we're gonna die. It always tells you right where you're gonna fall into the ground. Fuel low. No, it's not. You're out of fuel. It's not helpful at all. Let's get everything. And I usually drop the bad tools in the body. They'll despawn eventually. Next here, let's recharge our hydrogen tank. And then we're good to go. Okay, so as I was saying, we have drills with conveyor boards, so we can extend one conveyor board and one drill. Okay, you see how it started shifting? Make sure to balance it out on the other side. Let's do another one. And basically what you want to do is clear enough room so that you get as close to the bottom when all the pistons are contracted. So let's try to do that now. Let's try to contract. Remember, we set the maximum distances so that we can always reach this by just extending them all. So let's find our pistons. Notice that I already grouped them ahead. I should call it bunker pistons. It is a temporary group. We're gonna remove this shortly. So let's lower it. Okay, they're lowering. They're all lowered. Excellent. So you see, now this is our way to get this gap in between the components and the top of the drill. But we save resources because we don't have to build, 4 rows of pistons. Or we don't have to build a ton of drills. Second, and thirdly, that this is temporary. So we're gonna get all this PCU refunded back. See, there we go. One last one, and we have reached the bottom. Oh no, that damaged the components. Be careful. You see? Look, it damaged them. They're not flowing. Oh, and they're smoking now. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. Just be very careful. That's why we wanna remove the those components from below our rockets. We don't want our rockets landing on our valuable cargo. So let's keep doing the same over here. And if it all collapses, I would suggest this stage be very conservative with your velocities, your torque, and all that. Because if everything breaks, it's gonna fall on top of the... So just take your time. This is the last time you need to drill out your base. And after that, it's just base building with a ton of stone and resources. So be patient. You pretty much only spend 2 days building all this or less. I've taken more time because of all the explanations and the video editing and all that we have to do, but that's part of it. But in a PvP environment, you're with a mate, so you're building all this really efficiently and quickly. Okay, so now it's welding time. I'll be right back when this is all welded up. Okay. All right, we have welded the um, digger, or what, I don't know what to call it, the drill. We can look at it like this. I'm gonna turn on the HUD, and now I'm going to assign well, first let's group all the drills. There's a lot of drills. Drills, okay. Save, and then hide from toolbar, hide from terminal, hide from inventory screen. Next, the pistons. I had already grouped the upward ones. So notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 more. So that's 8. Those are the horizontal pistons. So I'm gonna call them pistons X, and I'm gonna hide them, and now that's way better. Here's our rotor. Sorry, gotta configure the headset. Okay, our rotor is locked right now, and the torque is pretty high up, so let's lower it. And let's set the velocity to 93. Okay. Next, let's turn on our drills. Double block on. There they are. Looks like they're all on. So now we can unlock our rotor, and it should start swinging. Let's add some braking torque. Yeah, remember, we're not going to be using inertia dampeners. Braking torque is force applied to slow uh, the rotor when you turn it off, for example. It should turn off very shortly and not wiggle around. If you don't add braking torque, it's gonna start bouncing back. Same when you lock. That's why it was swinging back and forth when we locked it, because it didn't have braking torque. So let's um, look at it. It's grinding the edge, but it's at the limit of the drills. So pretty much ready for our pistons X to start pushing into the wall. And what I'm going to do this stage, I'm gonna control it manually. So in my D-pad, what I'm going to assign is upwards is gonna be group pistons up, increase velocity. downwards, pistons up, decrease velocity. And then I'm going to say pistons up, turn on and off so I can freeze them. And here I'm gonna also have the rotor so I can freeze the rotor. I can lock it. Rotor lock on and off. Next tab, I'm gonna control the horizontal ones. And I'm gonna flip them so I know which is which. Instead, in this one, I'm gonna put left is gonna be pistons X, decrease speed, decrease velocity. The right is gonna be pistons X, increase velocity. The upwards is gonna be the rotor, lock on and off. And then downwards is gonna be pistons X on and off. That way, when I switch between the tabs, I can see the rotor change and I know which is which. I know this one is the X one and I know this one is the vertical one. Okay, so now switch to the X one and we're ready to increase the speed just a little bit and see how much that does. It did increase the speed. So they're extending, but they're extending very slowly. So let's extend them a little bit manually. Ah, easy, easy. I guess, okay, let's let it settle. It's a rotor. Let's check the rotor tip. It didn't get damaged, but almost. So let's leave it. And then check up on the pistons X. I'm gonna see the velocity. It's 0. Velocity is 0. Okay, no. Let's not control the X pistons manually. Let's just say velocity is gonna be 0.00. Remember, these are 4 pistons. So it is a combined speed. 0.02. No, let's say 1.5. Okay, I think that's good. We'll check it out. Let's leave it a little bit. But yeah, you can see now it's leaving trails in the wall and it's digging it. I just need to know if the speed is too fast. Like I said, I'm not in any rush and I want to collect remember when we talked about volume versus mass and the difference between rovers and stations, where rovers care about mass because they're mobile, they need to move that mass, but stations do not care about mass. So therefore I have no intention of wasting this stone. I'm gonna let my refiners process the stone. Even since I'm not gonna get any other metal, let me also go to my yield refinery and look for the sorter here. Ah, I'm stuck. I'm sorry, guys. Here we go. This is the yield one. Yield refinery in, and I'm gonna say, oh, nice. It doesn't know. It didn't. I never set the blacklist. So it should be processing stone already. Yep, the yield refinery is processing stone, and the speed one as well. Let's see how fast are they doing, because we don't want it to have to happen what happened when we were drilling downwards, where the drills got clogged. Remember that? And yeah, they're already clogging up. Okay, we need to stop this. Okay, stop the rotor first by locking it. Then your X pistons, turn them off. That's it. You can even leave your drills on, but if you notice, the rotor locked and the pistons are they keep their setting, so they're ready to turn back on, but they stop pushing into the wall. Next, what we need to do is install ejectors everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to install ejectors on, well, I'm going to install, no, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to extend our refinery capacity. I'm going to install temporarily 2 more refineries, and all of them are going to have speed modules in them so that we process the stone extremely quickly. And then, because they're high PCU count, I'm going to remove them when we're done. Okay, but let me return when we have all that set up. Alright guys, as you can see, I have installed 2 refineries and replaced the yield modules with speed modules. Then I didn't have to affect the sorting configuration because I just attached to the uh, open ports of the refiners, and the sorters are still gonna drill from the outer refineries. So with that, I also added 2 more cargo slots just in case, and we're ready to turn this back on. So let's climb up on the cockpit here, and we can first, well, I need to turn on this. Turn on the rotors, and then I can turn on the pistons, and they should start pushing in again. Control panel, yep, stone is flowing again. And now I'm going to keep an eye out on the inventory and make sure my refineries can process the stone faster than it can accumulate. And it looks like that is the case because none of my inventories is accumulating stone. So I'm gonna hide empty. Hide empty. And we see only our refinery. Excellent, it worked. Only our refineries have stone. Wait, 1 second. I think I saw something. Hide empty. Okay, our refineries. Oh, they're not clogging up. Nope, they're not. Yeah, the number was reaching all the way to 7K, 88 point K, 9K. Yep, they might be clogging up. Wait. No, there they are. They're going back down. It's like a balance of stone. They're balancing stone between them. But the important thing is the cargo is not gather. Yes, it is gathering stone. Look, eventually it will clog. Wait, let's look at the numbers. 60. Yep, eventually it'll clog. I think if we had 1 more set of refineries, we would be good. And it's fine. You shouldn't have to worry because one, they're not that expensive. 1 refinery equals 90 PCU. So it's even less. 1 refinery is even less than a piston. And each speed module is only 1 PCU count as well. So we can build 2 more refineries and be sure that the cargo is not going to clog while we're distracted. Secondly, let me check the hydrogen. Secondly, just note that having so many refineries and so many speed modules is going to drain your batteries considerably. So make sure you have hydrogen in your tanks. So let's look at this tank. It has 21% hydrogen and it's actually filling up because our generators are processing all the ice that we still have into hydrogen. So we can look for our engines and hey, our engines are on. So that's fine. That means that our batteries are recharging. In 4 hours, they will be recharging because the engines are processing the hydrogen generated by the generators into electricity and charging, not just powering the refineries and all the drills and everything, but also recharging the batteries. So we're not draining power at this moment. but once we run out of hydrogen, we will. Okay, so let's go back to here. I'm gonna add 2 more refineries and we'll be back. Oop, ah. All right, guys. I have installed ejectors on either side in order to regulate the intake. So the refineries will process stone as quick as they can, and the excess will be thrown through the ejectors. I'm letting it process all the stone that it had in the inventory so that when I turn back the drills, I can make sure that the inventories are not gonna clog. Notice that there's some stone here being processed. There's some more over here. So I'll wait until it is fully clear of stone and then turn it back on and see if I have a surplus or it's actually gonna just process stone endlessly and not clog. So the other thing is that I turned it fully off. I turned the rotor off, I turned the pistons off, and I turned the drills off because it has a wobble, and I wanted to just burn out that momentum slowly, or however long it takes, and so that it's like, you know, nice and still, and then we can turn it back on and it should drill more consistent because it was drilling up and down, and created like zigzag patterns, and that's not good because it can leave areas like this that are uh, farther out than the rest, so it's not a smooth pattern and in the wall. Okay, so let's check our inventory here. Looks like it's done with the stone, ready to be turned on. So let's go ahead and first, um, let me turn inertia tensors on so that I get instantly rid of that shake. You can also turn inertia tensors on your rotor. So I got rid of the shake. Let's turn them back off. Okay. Now here we can remove the lock and then turn our rotor on. Next, let's turn on our drills and immediately turn on the pistons pushing. And that way it should start drilling nice and smooth. Um, yep, as long as your settings are not too aggressive, it should dig out smoothly. And what we're going to do is let let me just adjust. Let the drill extend at this level, okay, as far as it can. And if we want a second level, what we're gonna do is then contract the horizontal pistons, raise the vertical ones, and then expand them again. And we'll get a ton of stone, plus we'll get enough clearance to build a nice base facility with plenty of room. And you can always repeat the process and drill in different configurations to create different sized compartments inside your bunker, and in that way you build different rooms, even like chambers and very large atriums and things like that. So we will show you how to do all that. Let's give it a second, and now let's recheck our inventory and hide empty. Okay, stone going into the cargo bunker but then instantly being drained out, and it looks like nothing is accumulating stone. Our refineries are still being able to prioritize and gather the stone. And that looks good. So we'll still get resources. We're not wasting the resources. We'll still produce a ton of ingots, which, keep in mind, you will have to drain your refineries out every so often, unless you drain them the way it's supposed to. Okay, let's say refinery S, show in terminal, the out, drain all. Okay, that's why. Whitelist ingots. Okay, add, and then drain all, and then you can hide the refinery S things. Refinery Y, show it, the out, whitelist, ingots, add, drain all. Just make sure your inwards is not allowing ingots to flow. So blacklist, for example, it's this one in, it is letting ingots flow. So it'll create a loop. You don't want that. You want it to the refinery whitelist stone. So it only allows stone in and it only allows ingots out. So whitelist, go down to stone. This can be, if you leave a loop on, it'll consume a ton of your resources and it'll make your base very laggy. Refinery, Y in, drain all, stone. Yeah, clog it up with stone if you want. Then bunker refinery out, drain all, ingots. Now let's do the same with the speed one. Hide the Y one, show the, and here in, yep, same thing. Whitelist stone, and the out one, whitelist ingots. Yeah, the in one also send it to drain all, and then it's gonna pull in all the stone, try to fill it up, so that we don't throw out more stone through our ejectors than we need, and that should be fine. Let's review it by hiding these and going to our inventory. Nice. Our refinery now is it's receiving more stone. Oh no, it's processing it fine. It's processing the same. Our cargo is emptying out. No, it's not. It's clogging up. We need more ejectors. But notice that our ingots are being drained out now. So our refineries won't clog with ingots. That's excellent. That's working now just fine. Okay, so I will add more ejectors and be right back. Alright guys, I've installed this configuration over here with a ton of sorters and ejectors just all throwing stone out non-stop. It's still not enough. You see flying rocks everywhere. It's still not enough. It's still clogging up with stone. So I've opted to stop fighting it. I'll leave those ejectors because it allows me to empty out the inventory quickly. But what I'll do now is just wait on it, look at it, and I have one cargo here, the last one. Then I'm gonna keep an eye out. Here it is, cargo bunker. I'm just say cargo here. And then at the end, you see there's cargo bunker 7 and it's fully empty. It's completely empty. So when I see it start to get resources, all I'm gonna do is turn off the X pistons. The pistons pushing into the wall, turn them off. And after that, they should start emptying out the inventory because the drills will run out of stone to dig, out of wall to dig. But your pistons, your rotor will stay on, everything will stay on, ready, waiting for you to just turn your pistons back on and continue gathering stone. So that's the easiest way for me to turn on and off a complex drill configuration like this. It looks like the drill got stuck. It looks like the drill got stuck. Be careful. Guide it if it needs it. It was getting stuck there. That's the bad thing about when it was you can see or even the zigzags in the wall carved because it was drilling irregularly, zigzagging up and down. It creates different depths of rock, and it sometimes is enough to, like this, get the drill stuck. So for the first rotation, I have to guide it so that it gets all synced up again, nice and aligned, and then it should be fine. So it looks like it may be the other side that's clogged now. Yep, right here. So help it along the way. That's the problem with the zigzags. But when you notice it zigzagging, turn it off. You could also retract it and have it drill correctly. Slow it and then, restart. Dig some. But I was kind of lazy and I kept it. But now what I'm going to do is guide it. And also, all these areas that I see already that's poorly dug, I'm going to help smooth them out. The last thing I want is the drill to break, the rotor to break, and the drill to fall all over the place. Okay, wait. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Turn off. Turn off the rotor. Look how bent it is. Oh, it's not good. Okay, I'm going to control panel. No, there's no inertia tensors. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, okay, reverse the rotor. Reverse the rotor. Unlock it. And then I'm going to the pistons X, I'm going to reverse them and turn them back on. So now they're contracting again. So that's what I meant by um, going back. And notice how it's gonna start digging correctly now. Level. Yeah, let's have it retract so that it aligns. Wow, it's getting ice. No, no, it's throwing all my ice out. Ejectors, stop. Oh man, no. It ran out of stone, so it started throwing away the ice that I have. Whitelist stone. Yes, whitelist. This one is the one. I thought I was gonna save time by just whitelisting ore, and I forgot we have a ton of ice. So I have to find the ones that have the ore and change that for stone. The drill should be fine because it's contracting. It's not pushing and creating pressure. Remove the ore. This one is stone, stone, and stone. Okay, so now I can turn the ejectors back on. Let me gather this stone. Actually, stop. Control panel. No. Ejectors off. Okay. Because turning them on will start spitting out rock and cause my ice to despawn. So I want to pick up my ice. I'll be right back. Oh, it shouldn't take long, it looks like. Hopefully we didn't lose too much ice. That's pure energy right there. And it's rocket fuel. I was like, oh, we hit a ice deposit. No, you're throwing out your reserves. Look how much of it. So I'm just chugging it in the inventory. I'll be right back when we're done. All right, guys, we have our drill back aligned and nice. It still has a wobble because I just recently fixed it. And what happened was that the conveyor boards in between the drills broke. Okay, so two of them broke on either side when they were rotating irregularly because of the zigzag pattern. They got impacted and damaged enough to prevent stone from passing from the bottom drill up the system. So it accumulated a ton of weight on the tips of the drills, and that's why it bent it. It bent it into a direction that had two drills clogged up, which was heavier than one drill clogged up. So it tilted in that direction, and that was the bend. So as soon as I fixed the conveyor ports, the stone traveled up through the system and emptied out the extra weight and leveled them out back again. So the importance of weight distribution if you have inertia tensors off, but that's the case in um, what was it called, console, uh, in console. So I wanted to show you without inertia tensors. So here we go. Let's turn the drill back on. Our inventory is clear of stone. We have not lost all the ice, luckily. Nice, we have a ton of it actually. I managed to save 50,000 kilograms of it from despawning. So yeah, let's turn on the drills. The drills are on. Let's turn on the pistons X. They're on, they're just contracting. So let's reverse him. And I'm just gonna let it drill slowly back again. I'm not gonna force it into the wall because remember the wall was a little bit irregular. So instead I would like to have the rotor go over it one more time. So I unlock the rotor and now everything should be back in order. The pistons are pushing into the wall slowly. The drills are gonna be rotating all around and cleaning the zigzag mess that was made earlier. And hopefully that should fix and let it drill smoothly. Okay, so I'll be back. If no news, good news. We should probably then have a fully dug out bunker, at least this first level, and then I'll show you how to contract it, raise the configuration, and then start again at a higher level here, so that we have two sets of bunker, and it's like really large area for base building down here. Okay, so be right back, guys. Yep. See you then. All right, the drill has got stuck. Let's go back and check. Notice that again, two conveyor ports are broken. Okay, so let's control panel, pistons X, reverse, rotor, reverse, and pretty much we're getting the drill unstuck immediately. And then at that point, it won't cause any more pressure because it's going in the total opposite direction as it was drilling. So we're retracting it fully, not just the pistons, but also the rotor reverse it. Okay. Next, we want to fix those. I'm gonna clear my build planner, and I was looking at it. It was getting stuck, but I wanted to capture it on camera. How it was pushing. It looked like the drill was gonna clear the rotation, but it didn't. Let's withdraw. I have nothing on my build planner, that's why. Tab. Okay. Anything else damaged? No, it looks like that's the two. Production. Got it. Oh, maybe it's because I already had all the components. It barely needed anything. There it goes. Now it's fixed. And you see how it suddenly started moving? That's because it instantly transferred the stone, causing a drastic change in weight, and then the whole system accounted for it. I'm gonna check the rotor's tip here. Okay, 100%, nice, very solid. So it is a good configuration because it is able to drill, but it doesn't cause damage. Even when it gets stuck, it doesn't cause damage on the rotor, and that's the danger. Because if that rotor breaks, it's gonna release all the X pistons and the drills down on our configuration, our structure below. So it would be a very bad thing. That's why you have to be keep an eye on this. And if you want, like, say for example, I'm done with stone. Let's see how much stone we have, for example. Let's turn the rotor, lock the rotor, turn it off so that it doesn't start swinging. Add braking torque if you want. It's got, and then we have to turn it on for braking torque, I think. Yeah, let's turn off the drills. And then the rotor, I wanna get that rotor to stop moving. So let me say velocity 0. Okay, well it's still swinging. Never mind. Okay, let's drop everything in the inventory. Let's recharge our hydrogen. I can recharge it later. Let's look at how much iron we have so far. Wow, 600,000 in this container alone. So around a million kilograms, 1,000 kilograms. No, I mean, yeah, exactly, a million kilograms of just iron, plus all the other materials. We have plenty. So what I'm saying is we have, no, maybe not. We can build a very large base, but that's not what you would want to do on a public server. You wouldn't want to build a extremely large base. So I guess you can continue either collecting the resources or because I want to keep digging for space. But at this point, I want to dig for speed. So I can set my block tool drills and I can switch to the weapon drill. And now I can control this manually. And let's set our rotor again. Unlock it and turn it on. Turn it on, velocity. Let's say 1.15. Yeah, it can go fast. It can go pretty fast when, well, let's not, because if it clogs or anything, that velocity is gonna be applied to the rotor. So let's go control panel again and just use the same velocity that we've been using before, which is either 93 or 71. 71. And that's good because remember, as the radius increases, okay, it'll take more distance to complete one rotation. And a fast velocity that worked in the beginning may not work. Well, it'll be slower. It'll in effect be slower drilling. So that's not bad, I guess. Okay, let's work with this. Let's work with. No, on the contrary, it's gonna cover more distance. Yep, it's gonna cover more distance for the same amount of time. So all that geometry has to be taken into effect. Okay, so let's go and yeah, I think we're ready. I'm just confirming everything. I'm gonna use the left or the right click or the left joystick in a console. And notice how it's already starting to dig out terrain. So I'm gonna let it do a full rotation on its own. And what I'll do is, after I do a full rotation, I'll extend it a little bit and do another rotation. But this is gonna be better than waiting for it, since I don't need the resources anymore. Remember, if you're in a public server, time is also a factor. So you wanna be quick. If you don't need the materials, then go ahead and dig for speed like I'm showing you right now. And what you're going to do is, for example, here we're closing in on one full rotation. What we'll do is increase the velocity and then reduce it immediately to stop it back. Okay, this is gonna be first person camera. And then here, just that it's hard to see. Okay, I think that's gonna work out better. So do it just a little bit at a time so that when you put, for example, you saw that I had to configure my camera as soon as I extended the drills so that it doesn't cause your drills to hit a wall because you just extended too far. So, you know what I mean? Just drill a little bit, and you saw that even though I stopped drilling, the drills did not impact a wall as the rotor kept going. Okay? So I'm just gonna repeat the process. Let's accelerate until we have fully dug the extent of. Alright, guys, we have drilled the entirety of the bunker, at least the extent reach of these four horizontal pistons. If you wanted, you could add more, but at that distance, it was a bit wobbly and unstable. You can see in the probably in the time lapse how it starts to get a bit rough and I have to like retract and go forward. That's because the farther the pistons extend, the bouncier they get. You see it's more momentum translates into that vibration. Imagine like a staff or a long wooden rod, how if you move one end, how that small movement translates on the other end. It would be very abrupt distances. So that's what's happening. But if you see, we have a good sized silo where starships can enter, and within it we have the boundary and we already have the center defined of where we're going to build the silo landing pad, which is that circle that you see defined on the ground. That's the initial dig of the rover. And afterwards, we installed the pistons and drilled using at first the slow drill so that we collected plenty of stone for our base that we're going to build down here. And then we accelerate it and use the speed drill. If you're not in a rush, you go ahead and use your slow drill and just leave it building, especially if you're building your second one, another one somewhere else in a different planet or something. Yeah, if you know your settings right, you could leave it and then come back, retract it, raise it another level, start it up again, and then leave it and come back. So that is a good strategy and can work. But if it breaks, you wouldn't notice um, until you come back. So let's see here. I'm gonna recharge just in case. Yeah. At next stage, what I'm going to do is raise. Well, first I'm going to remove the drill and the pistons. Okay, and then using the center block, the storage container block, I'm gonna define the edges of the silo launch pad where the walls are. These edges here, these define where the exterior is. They'll line up to the edges of the grass here. So I will raise foundations. I mean armor blocks all the way up here, and define the walls of the silo. And that way I can then lay armor blocks on the interior of the bunker all around extending, and I will have the floor of my laboratory. At that point, if you want, you can raise the walls, but you can leave the walls empty. This is a no, you have to air pressurize, because if I turn on my HUD and I remove my helmet, oh nice. Down here we can breathe as long as we're not in a storm. So if you're in per time, you will want to pressurize because of the storms. You won't be able to breathe in one unless you're in a pressurized environment. But other than that, you should be able to breathe as long as you're in a low altitude environment, because the pressure the air pressure is healthy. So we'll be back, and on next episode we'll do that. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then you'll get notified when we upload the next video, which is building out the floor and raising up, defining the bunker area. Okay, so hope to see you then. Until then, see ya.